I definitely think Chad, because Chad helped put Cincinnati on the map, right? Because of the way he talked and how
He made the
was in
Bengals cool.
media. But I don't think
And
just from, again, like we can look at the end numbers, right? But I think when you look at it, I think Chad's talk didn't always back up against number one corners. At times, you kind of left some stuff to be desired, and that's a similar gripe that I have with AJ Green though too. AJ Green would go missing at times against Joe Hayden, Revis. I mean, he got a better of Revis's last time out, but it took until an aging Revis, right? I mean, I'm talking about when you went up against some of those premier corners. He had some good performances against Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, but I don't know, when I watch players, I would like to see the number one wide receiver, or a guy that I'm going to put in that tier, really dominate the competition, like as you're supposed to. And that includes tough matchups against number one corners. Like I expect you to. And in talking about Jamar Chase seems to elevate his game when he goes up against those premier corners. Like he doesn't shrink. And I saw that too often with AJ and Chad.
Not that like, I mean, I think Chad probably could have done it a little bit.
And it could have been quarterback play too.
Well, but the creativity of the offense has kind of allowed Jamar Chase. Now, I think Jamar Chase would be fine if you just stuck him outside the whole game, regardless of who's on him. He'd be fine regardless. But I think the creativity of the offensive now even helps Jamar to that degree too. Not that like I don't know how much we could have moved around AJ. You know, obviously he could be fine, but like, you know, I think that kind of helps. You can run away from those matchups a little bit more now than you could back then. And who knows, maybe they couldn't handle it anyway, but
I just think that, like, you think about it, like the Bengals offense, Jamar's first year was so pedestrian, and even sometimes it's still now very pedestrian, but it was like a lot of backyard football. And just see what Jamar Chase was able to do against Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and this is a Jalen Ramsey that is not like washed yet. Like, he's still considered by many the best cornerback in football. Let me tell you one of Jamar Chase. You want to see one of Jamar Chase's most impressive games from a receiving standpoint? Go watch Jamar Chase. You could obviously go look at him against the Chiefs, but to me, that was just the Chiefs' defense was just bad. Go watch Jamar Chase his rookie year against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Thursday Night Football. And when he went up against, what's the kid's name? That's very handsy, that everybody likes. Tyson Campbell. Right? Is that his name? Tyson Campbell?
Tyson Campbell's
young. I mean, they could have. I think.
It was Tyson Campbell. It was Tyson Campbell
on the team
in his rookie year.
Yeah,
they also had.
It was Tyson Campbell. Was it Tyson Campbell?
No,
it was Tyson Campbell.
It might have been.
It was Tyson Campbell, and it was Shaquem. Was it Griffin? Was Griffin there already, or no? What's the guy they traded name? What's the guy's name that they traded?
CJ Henderson.
Henderson.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
It was AJ Boye was still there, but no. It was Tyson Campbell he went up against. Tyson Campbell was very physical receiver. To me, that was a performance. You might. I don't care about the name. I'm not saying the name.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah.
I
can't.
I'm saying this. I'm talking about the receiving. There were moments where Campbell, his recovery was very, very good against Jamar Chase, and he made life hell for Jamar Chase in that game. And he wasn't giving Jamar Chase an inch. And then I don't know what clicked, but Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase started Joe Burrow started going to Jamar Chase. And there were some critical moments in that game where Jamar Chase was able to beat Campbell on some very, very pivotal throws. It was one was a comeback route. Another one was a stop and go route up the sideline. And for me, when I'm watching that, like, there were a lot of moments when I would watch past Bengals receivers who would have a tough gout. They would mentally be checked out. They'd mentally be checked out. Jamar Chase is not like that.
Locked in.
He's not. He's locked in throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
And no one knows what type of cornerback matchups you might struggle with. Nobody knows what game might be tough for you.
It's more about types than it is about. Right. It's about what matches up well
Tyson
with
Campbell is a long, physical, rangy corner. And when I saw that matchup, I said, "Shit." Excuse my French. I said, Jamar Chase might get. Jalen Ramsey might give Jamar Chase problems because of his length. But then it seemed like as the season, because that was one of the knocks on Jamar Chase too. Oh, he didn't have an expansive route tree, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if you guys remember those talks from coming out.
I remember.
And just seeing, I remember his first game, seeing what Jamar Chase was able to do to Patrick Peterson, he broke him down. And to the point where people were like, oh my God, Patrick Peterson's washed. Then Patrick Peterson came bounce back and he had a good year and said, oh, he's not washed. Jamar Chase is just that damn good.
Yeah.
Just the way Jamar Chase seems to have and Logan, you and me talked about this. He seems to have a very good understanding of route progression, but he also understands what the defense is trying to do. He's very good at finding the hole in the defense. He's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. Like if you say Jamar Chase, go out there and you find the hole in the zone, he will find it.
Yeah. And he's doing it by feel too, which is the crazy part, because he talked about after his rookie year how he did not understand coverages. And that's something he was working with Joe Burrow on, was just like, I didn't know how to identify the differences between cover 2, cover 3. Like, I was just finding the open space. I was just running the route. I was reading the leverage on the defenders. Like, he was playing by intuition and feel. So he gets that part of his game. I mean, he's only going to elevate where he is.
Did you see, he was talking about it. He said at LSU, and this may sound very stupid what I'm saying right now, but I'm a football nerd. I like this type of stuff. And I could talk about this stuff all day. Like, for me, like, and maybe this is something that colleges teach, but hearing how Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson talked about why they're so successful in the NFL, they literally use the momentum. I forgot the exact word, the leverage that the cornerback is playing with. And that pretty much, like they said, like Jamar Chase was doing an interview, he said he stares at the receiver's hips the cornerback's hips the entire time. And based upon that, that leverage that the corner is playing with, that'll allow him to know when to break out or when to break in. And that will, if you look at Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, they're really good at their stop and starts. And it seems like it's almost like video game-ish while they're out there, especially if they're doing a break-in route. Like, just seeing the way, it was almost like a boxing match, seeing the way Jamar Chase broke down Patrick Peterson over the course of the game. It was beautiful. It was like literally beautiful. And sometimes I think receivers run routes because the coach said, hey, go out there and run a stop and go. Yeah. Go out there, run a comeback route. Go out there and run a post. No, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, you could see like they're very particular. I would say Jamar Chase a little more than Justin Jefferson. It seems like he's running that route with a purpose, and his intention is to get that defensive back out of place. And the moment he sees your hip not in the right direction, he's able to break away. And I think that allows for Jamar Chase to seem more explosive than what he actually is.
Yeah, it's that quick twitch ability everybody covets and falls in love with. Sometimes it works out effortlessly, and sometimes you get your Corey Coleman.
You know who was really good at it? Steve Smith. Steve Smith was really
good at getting because like he was a real like a lot like Jamar Chase in that compact running back body. He was good at the cornerback's blind spot.
Yes.
You would know exactly where he was, and they would glance over at the quarterback, and then suddenly he's gone. And he would just know, and he would have such a great feel for when those cornerbacks just lost focus on him for a split second. He would immediately attack that leverage, attack that blind spot, and get you to lose him.
Those little details about football and sports in general are so awesome to get into and just talk about. I mean, we're literally talking about him watching the eyes of his corner to see when he looks at the quarterback so he can go the other direction. Like, there's so many differences, so many little.
That's what they talk about when they say nuance with route running, right?
Man,
you can go out there and you can just run the slant. You can just run the end. You can just run the hitch, but doing all these little things to sell that route, to manufacture space, openness. And it's not whether you're necessarily fast or whether you have great acceleration. It can be whether or not you sell that route nuance with your feet, your hips, your neck, your eyes, all that. It's all part of the formula that comes together.